and James Murray, part of our team. He's live in front of the old City Hall courthouse in Toronto. James, coming to the end of the trial you've covered from the very beginning. Bring us sort of to where we are today, 6 weeks gap between the end of proceedings and today. The judge has been weighing evidence during that time. What has he been considering?
Well, Heather, you can certainly consider me part of that throng. This has been a media-saturated case, and perhaps justifiably so, considering the person at the center of the case, a media star in his own right, Jian Ghomeshi. The judge has a lot to consider. Remember, no jury in all of this. The judge heard about 2 weeks' worth of testimony in a trial that was slated for 3 weeks. It went by pretty quickly, and he heard 3 similar stories put forward by the Crown. The first witness, who we can't name because of a sweeping publication ban, said that she went on a date with Jian Ghomeshi, a man she thought would be a wonderful man to hang around with, to spend time with. Then suddenly, he ends up behind me and he pulls my hair hard, harder than before, and he's punching me in the head, and I'm terrified. I don't know if he's going to stop. This was the first part of the Crown's attempt to put a similar fact case before the judge. That is, each of the stories would have a similar pattern to them, that Jian Ghomeshi was this charming radio star who was like a Jekyll and Hyde. At any moment, a switch could turn, and they each in turn said that it was like he instantly became someone they couldn't recognize, someone violent. Each of them talked about either being pulled or hit or choked by Jian Ghomeshi. This was their similar fact story that the Crown put before the judge. Now, the defense had a similar fact story of their own. As one by one they pulled emails out of wherever emails are kept. Certainly there were files kept over the years. They pulled out emails that showed inconsistencies that the women had in their stories, things they had kept from the police and the Crown. At times you could see the Crown's eyes popping wide open. When some of these emails would show up, one of the witnesses had sent, after the alleged incident had taken place, a picture of herself in a bikini. The second witness, Lucy Descoutures, who we can name, that part of the publication ban has been lifted, sent a handwritten letter to Jian Ghomeshi saying, "I love your hands." She talked about wanting to spend more time with him. The third witness as well also spent more time with Jian Ghomeshi afterwards. All of them stayed in contact despite telling the police and the Crown that they wanted nothing more to do with Jian Ghomeshi after these incidents allegedly took place. These are things that the defense and Marie Henin, the lawyer for Jian Ghomeshi, had called inconsistency, outright lies. Time and again, she told the witnesses to tell the truth to the court. Which truth does the court believe? Which truth does the judge believe? This isn't even really a he said, she said case. This is a case of things that were said by the witnesses. Jian Ghomeshi did not testify in court. The only thing he said in court is not guilty.
And so we wait less than an hour until the proceedings begin. In the interim, James, we saw it last night in Vancouver. I know you've seen there as well women's groups who have held protests. They have condemned the defense strategy, which was to discredit the complainants and raise questions about their credibility and reliability. What are you seeing outside court this morning?
There was another protest here, and this has become something that is fairly common in this case, almost from the beginning of it. People showing up with signs saying, "We believe her." This is something, "Don't blame the victim." These are signs that we have seen, and we were seeing something like that again today. Last night in Vancouver, there was a similar protest held outside the CBC in Vancouver, actually, no doubt linking Jian Ghomeshi's former employer to this case. They were also holding up signs saying, "We believe them." And all you have to do is go on Twitter and punch in the hashtag Ghomeshi, and you will see no shortage of people who say they don't actually care what the verdict is here today. They believe the women who have testified here. Again, no matter what the judge, who has sat through every part of this, has to say about this, they are saying they believe them nonetheless. Such is the case going on in the court of public opinion that we talk about. It's almost a cliche, but this really does apply in this case. There, almost everywhere I've gone in the city where people have recognized me from the reporting I've been done, they've asked me what I think about it. They've given their opinion on whether they believe the testimony. They're following it very closely, and it will be interesting to hear what they say after the verdict comes through. I have to say, I've talked with a lot of defense lawyers, too, who've been following this case as closely as we have. I haven't found one yet that thinks, given all the evidence that has come, that they will see a guilty decision today. But, of course, it doesn't matter what the lawyers think, what Twitter thinks, what all of the protesters think. Right now, it only matters what one person thinks. That's the judge, who will give his decision within a matter of hours.